Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Friar Talk podcast. We don't have Matt today. Matt's going to be doing some studying for his midterms, but today we got me and Chase, and we're going to be recapping this Giant series, previewing the Pirates series, and just going over a couple subtopics that we're interested in. So, Chase, I just kind of want to ask you, what are your general thoughts on this Giant series? What did you think about it? Who stood out to you, and who was the biggest letdown in this series?
You know what? We played really solid baseball. The pitching was great until the last game. It kind of sucked that Musgrove struggled, but Darvish, 12 strikeouts. Sure, he ended the game with the bases loaded, and Tim Hill came in and barely scraped by like probably like less than a few inches of a grand slam, and it ended up being a fly ball. So, got to go Yu Darvish. Anytime you have a 12K outing from your starting pitching, you should probably win that game, and we did. So I'm gonna go Darvish as the standout. And the disappointment, I'm gonna go Hosmer. He hasn't really done anything. I know he got a single and stole a base. I mean, he's just kind of been there. Now you can go our catching position just because we really haven't gotten any production out of the bats from our catchers. Nola just got back, and I think he only started one game, so you can go either way with those.
Yeah, I completely agree with you with that Darvish being the standout. He had such an amazing game, and yeah, he did leave with the bases loaded. Tim Hill saved him. Chase, you, I like how you hate Tim Hill, and I like Tim Hill so much. It's so funny because he always comes in like high leverage situations, and he either blows it significantly or like he gets really lucky and he saves it. But it's so funny. I don't know. I like Tim Hill a lot. Um, my standout for me would be Jerkson Profar. He had a pretty good series. I think he hit his first home run in this series. And how about that catch that he made yesterday out in right field in the first inning? Jerkson has kind of showed to be like when he was a top prospect with the Rangers and the A's and all that stuff was going on and he wasn't really panning out. I feel like it was just because they wanted him to be the superstar. And that's just not the type of player Jerkson is. He's kind of like our role player. And with his contract and everything that's going down, it's like he's becoming an everyday player for us. He's played right, he's played left, he's played first, he's played second. So that's definitely really good to see from Jerkson. But yeah, you was absolutely phenomenal in his outing, and you's kind of been the one constant that's been giving us 6 or 7 innings each outing. So that's been really big. Darvish has probably been our biggest acquisition so far, and we'll get into that later. In terms of the biggest disappointment, I can't really think of anybody else but the catching position, like Caratini and Nola. Nola gets a little bit of a flyer because he's kind of been out and he's kind of been, rehabbing and he's getting under yourself in terms of being at the plate. It's like it takes a little bit, but Caratini, other than like that Dodger series where he was really really clutch, he's kind of been struggling at the plate. And not that long ago, we made a video on why Caratini should be the starting catcher. I mean, we have a claim defensively, but offensively, it's kind of hard to back it up. But in terms of this Giants and Padres series, we do have another series coming up against them. So Chase, right now we're split with the Giants. What do you think? What do you expect in the next series against the Giants?
I expect to take 2 out of 3 again. I mean, we kind of need to. The race right now is really close. The Giants are in first. I think we're half a game back from the Dodgers, and the Dodgers are half a game back from the Giants. So, like, we need to win these games, cement ourselves in the standings. We can't continue to lose these series against the teams that are higher in the division. We know by the end of the season, the Giants are probably not going to be where they are right now, but we can't lose these series to the Giants or like any rivals in our division because it just lowers us down significantly in the standings. So every time we play an interdivisional rival, we gotta win.
Yeah, I was pretty happy seeing that we took the series. I definitely wanted the sweep. I thought the sweep was realistic. And I was going to ask you, were you pretty content with just taking the series, or did you think a sweep was necessary?
I wanted the sweep because then we would be in first place and we could, be like, "Ha, Dodgers, you know what? We're probably way more banged up than you, and we're in first place, so you can't really keep calling us, oh, we're more banged up than you, man. We have a lot of pitchers on the IL right now, So I really wanted it just for bragging rights, but I am fine with taking the series. If you can win 2 out of 3 series in a week, you're doing a really good job.
Yeah, and we've kind of been playing some pretty good baseball, in my opinion. I mean, other than this past game on Sunday, the other games where we played some really good baseball. Fernando didn't even really hit that well, and we're still putting up a lot of runs. So that was really good to see. The offense is starting to come around. And we kind of attributed it to finally being some consistency in the lineup where you see Trent and Fernando are kind of like flip flopping one and two, and then from then on you have consistency with like Manny next, Hosmer next, and it's very good to see because now we're starting to see like the potential of this Padres offense. But so far throughout what you have seen, do you think this offense has kind of like even scratched the ceiling of what they can be?
No, I think our offense can be way better than it should be. Normally we have a lot of guys getting on base, going deep into counts, walking, and then we already lead the majors in stolen bases, and we can probably just run away with that if they continue playing the ball that they do. But we haven't seen the power from Manny or Myers or Pham or sometimes Profar, because Profar can get on his streaks where he hits a few home runs. Even Haas hasn't. I don't remember the last time Hosmer hit a home run except for at the beginning of the season. We have Nola back, so there's more power there, more versatility, and where we can place him and bat. We've had a lot of guys, in and out of games with Pham and Myers kind of just being banged up with injuries. So I think our offense is only like at the surface where they should be, but not at their ceiling yet.
Yeah, I think the whole like hitting like yesterday we had 4 hits and the Giants had 4 hits, but the difference was they had 6 runs, we had one. So it's like we're not really supplying a lot, like we don't really have a lot of power at the plate right now other than Fernando, but all of Fernando's jacks are like they're solo shots. Like no one's getting on for him. And that's why like, you can make a case for putting him third so that way there can be runners on when he hits jacks, but he seems more comfortable in that 1-2 position. So obviously you want to get your best hitter the most amount of at bats, and I think that's working really well right now for Fernando. But getting runners on and getting them in, whether it be through manufacturing runs or just hitting some bombs, I'd like to see them hit for more power because we have a lot of power throughout this lineup, and I think it's going to be important for us to like when we play teams like the Dodgers when they have Bellinger and everyone ready. It's going to be important for us to hit some bombs, hit some home runs because that could completely shift the momentum of the game. But Chase, do you kind of have anything you want to talk about, or any thoughts about this series that you think are important?
The stolen bases kind of manufacture runs. We've seen it in the last couple series. If the Padres get on, they need to, play aggressive baseball, hit and run, stolen bases, because it works. Sometimes that one stolen base or that one hit and run, it starts a big inning. I think during the Dodgers series, they had a hit and run going, and it just catapulted them into like a scoring frenzy. Or it may have been the series before the Giants. Those little things get the team going because it feels like a small victory. And now you're in scoring position. You didn't sacrifice a bunt or sacrifice an out, and then the next guy can just drive you in. So if we can't hit for power, we need to play small ball, hit and runs, steals, maybe some bunts. I'm not the biggest advocate for a bunt because it's just like giving the other team an out, which is kind of boring. I'm all for aggressive baseball, but I hate bunting. It's acceptable in the right situation, but most of the time, don't do it. And just really focus on gap to gap hitting. We haven't hit a lot out of the parks, but the doubles and triples that we've got have been really clutch from our players.
Yeah, I think that's kind of been what we've been seeing so far. A lot of gap to gap hitting. So I completely agree. This offense hasn't really scratched the ceiling of what they can be yet. I think maybe we're starting to see glimpses of it, and that's going to be an electric offense. When you have Fernando, I think the most important thing is if you have Fernando and Manny on at the same time, we haven't really even seen that yet. Like even last season, Fernando played MVP baseball through the first half, and then he kind of died out and went into a slump, and then Manny played MVP baseball. If we can get them together along with Hosmer, hitting still over 290, 300, and then you got Myers who can constantly hit for power, Trent Grisham who can always get on. Jake needs to get out of his slump, but we know that's going to happen because Jake's always been that kind of guy that he's going to get on a lot and he's going to score a lot of runs for you. When this offense gets clicking, it's going to be probably the most dangerous offense in all of baseball. I mean, you can make an argument for the Dodgers with Bellinger, Betts, Seager, Turner, and all those guys, but I truly think this offense could be the best offense in baseball, and it's going to be really exciting to see when they reach their potential. But other than that, anything else you got, Chase?
Yeah, I'm good. Let's move on to the next topic.